Welcome to Lattes and Lattes, the podcast where we blend the world of law and business with a warm cup of information and common sense. I'm your host, Sidney, attorney, real estate investor, and business owner. Each week, we'll be your go-to source for legal insights, business advice, and so much more. Whether you're a seasoned professional, an ambitious entrepreneur, or simply someone seeking guidance, we'll have you covered. From navigating the legal landscape to empowering you with valuable business strategies, we'll explore the legal side of life and enjoy a virtual latte along the way. So, grab your favorite latte, get comfortable, and let's dive in to Lattes and Lattes. Welcome back to Lattes and Lattes, the podcast where we talk about the law in a way that's practical, empowering, and even human. I'm your host, Sidney, founder of the Whelan Law Firm, now serving North Central Missouri businesses and families in 3 convenient locations: Moberly, Carrollton, and now Paris. Last week, we talked about building a family, a business, and a life. The first pillar of my build it, protect it, pass it on philosophy. Today, I want to talk about the second pillar of this philosophy, protecting what you're building. Most people don't lose what they built because they failed. They lose it because something happened. A lawsuit they never saw coming, a divorce they didn't plan for, a medical crisis that stopped everything, a death that came way too soon, an economic downturn that exposed every weak spot all at once. Protection isn't about expecting the worst. It's about respecting the reality that life happens, even to people who did everything right. Why protection is the most ignored leg of the 3-legged stool. Building is exciting. Legacy feels meaningful, but protection often feels uncomfortable because protection requires us to talk about vulnerability, loss of control, our own mortality, and conflict. So we postpone it. But here's the hard truth. What you don't plan for becomes the thing that undoes you. And in my law practice, I almost never meet people before the crisis. I meet them when they're already in it. The risk that no one likes to name. Let's name them here, plainly. First, lawsuits. You don't have to do anything wrong to be sued. You just have to be involved. It could be business disputes, an auto accident, premises liability, professional liability, or simply family conflicts that turn legal. If your personal life and business life are blended together, a lawsuit in one area can affect everything else. Let's talk about divorce. Divorce is not just emotional, it's financial and structural. Assets get divided, businesses get valued, property gets sold, and plans often get rewritten by the courts. And if you didn't plan ahead, the law fills in the gaps with rules that may not match your intentions at all. Next, there's disability. This is the risk no one talks about enough. Disability doesn't end your obligations, it just limits your capacity. Bills still come due. Employees still need paychecks. Families still need support. Without a plan, disability quietly drains what you've worked so hard to build. And next, death. Death doesn't just transfer assets. It creates delay, often court involvement, confusion, conflict, even among family members. And when planning is missing, grief and legal chaos arrive together. Next, economic downturns. Downturns expose weak structures. Then capitalization, personal guarantees, over-leveraging, no separation between risk and reward. The businesses that survive downturns aren't luckier, They're just better structured. Let's talk about personal versus entity liability, the line that matters. One of the biggest misconceptions I see is often, I have an LLC, so I'm protected, right? Well, an entity is not a magic shield. It's a tool, and it only works if you use it correctly. Some of the things the courts look at if you're involved in a legal situation with your business. First, are there separate bank accounts? How about proper documentation, including an operating agreement if you have an LLC? Are your contracts in the proper entity's name? Does your behavior respect those boundaries? If you treat the business like your personal wallet, the law will do that too. And when that happens, your home, your savings, and your personal assets suddenly come into play. So here's some real-world cautionary patterns. I've seen businesses lost because personal guarantees weren't understood, family land sold because one owner died without a plan, surviving spouses locked out of their finances, and even locked out of their own homes. I've seen children placed in court-supervised guardianships, assets drained by probate costs and delays. None of these people thought they were reckless. They just thought they had more time. Remember, protection is layered. It's not just one decision. And protection is not one document or one entity either. It's a system. Some common protective layers of that system include proper entity selection and maintenance. This could be trust, limited liability companies, or corporate structures. Thoughtful ownership structure, contracts that address real risk, and plans to minimize that risk. You also need insurance aligned with your liability exposure, and estate planning that accounts for incapacity and death. Again, trusts, wills, durable powers of attorney for both businesses and healthcare. And you need a clear separation between personal and business assets. Commingling assets carelessly can quickly unwind even the best laid plans. No one needs everything on day one, but everyone needs to start somewhere. Remember, protection is an act of leadership. I want you to hear this clearly. Protection isn't and shouldn't be fear-based. It's leadership. It's taking responsibility. It says, I care enough about what I've built to defend it. I don't want my family left scrambling. And I don't want courts making decisions that I should have made myself. And most importantly, protection buys you options when options matter the most. So in closing, ask yourself this. If something unexpected happened tomorrow, what and who in your life would be exposed? That answer isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to guide your next intentional step. Because the empire you're building deserves more than hope. It deserves a plan. In future episodes, we'll continue to unpack this topic and we'll delve deeper into specific things that you can do as the leader of your family and your business to protect the people and assets that you hold dearly. I'm Sidney Whelan. This is Law Days and Lattes, where we talk about building something meaningful, protecting what matters, and passing on a legacy worth keeping. If this message resonated with you, tune in with me each week. Subscribe, share, and start thinking differently about what protection means to you. Have a great week, my friends.
This podcast episode contains general information for discussion purposes only. Each case is different and must be judged on its own merits. Missouri rules generally prohibit lawyers from advertising that they specialize in particular areas of the law. This show should not be construed to suggest such specialization. Nothing on this show should be taken as legal advice for any individual case or situation. This information is not intended to create an attorney-client relationship, and the listening or viewing of this podcast does not constitute an attorney-client relationship. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.